guys.
Hello.
We are here to do a Disney Cruise Line recap of our experience on the Disney Dream, which was back in February. It is now April, almost May.
Yes.
We put out several videos of our experience, and we just kind of wanted to do a recap and talk to you kind of directly. I think TJ's going to slice in some videos and maybe pictures in to kind of help visualize what we're talking about. And TJ just said before we started filming that maybe I remember more than he does.
Probably.
So if it seems like I'm talking a lot, you can either stop me if you want to talk.
Oh yeah, I'll chime in.
Or
but
sorry guys if you're bored of hearing me talk.
No, I figured I'd let him take a little bit of the
It's going to be super casual. We have notes here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure TJ will clip parts that we mess up or whatever, but we're super casual today.
Yeah.
And we just want to talk to you guys about our experience on Disney Cruise. So this was my 4th cruise.
And this was my first.
It was TJ's first cruise. Did you like it?
I wouldn't want to do anything else now. I'm kind of spoiled. With that being my first cruise, I'm super excited to do another one.
But we have news on our next cruise at the end of this video.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
We'll mention our next cruise at the end of the video, what we're doing for our next cruise. But yeah, I mean, once again, another great Disney cruise. I've never had a bad experience on a Disney cruise. And so we'll talk a little bit about the pre-boarding. 30 days out right now, the way the Disney has it set up is that you have to register 30 days in advance.
Right.
So if let's say you book your cruise 90 days out, well, at that 30-day mark, you need to be ready to check in, because in order to get your boarding time, you have to do that 30-day check-in, and you get to choose your boarding time. So if you want the earliest possible boarding time, you need to go ahead and do that check-in literally at midnight, 30 days before your cruise. We set alarms, all that stuff.
It's a little tedious, but it makes it so much smoother.
Yeah, I mean, you had to stay up for that night, but we knew we wanted to spend as much time as possible on the ship on that first day when we board, and that's our pro tip to you. You want to get on as soon as possible, especially when you're doing a 3-night like we did, so that you can maximize your time on the ship.
Yeah, get the most out of it.
Which I feel like we did.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think we got like a 10:45. I think we got a 10:45 boarding time, and we arrived to the port at about 10:20, and we were ready to board like at 10:30, somewhere around there. And they let us start the process even before 10:45, which was nice. So that's kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but we did that, and then 15 days we did the check-in, and then 15 days before, you have to submit some information about your health in terms of submitting your vaccination card and all that, because right now at the time of filming, you do have to be vaccinated.
Correct.
So we had to take pictures of a vaccination card, all that good stuff, and send it in. I think the system is called Safe Passage. I believe it's third party to Disney, but Disney partners with them. You create a Safe Passage account. TJ had to create his, I had to create mine, but we linked our Safe Passage accounts to our cruise line reservation, and it was very seamless.
Yeah.
It was super easy.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, you just have to remember these day markers. And for the Safe Passage, you wouldn't have to, for the Safe Passage, do it right at that 15-day mark, because there's no reservations you're making. So even if you do it 10 days out from your cruise, whatever, that type of thing, there's probably a limit. Like, they probably want you to do it, I don't know, we didn't do that research, but maybe they want you to do it at least 24 hours in advance of you getting on the ship. I'm not sure. Just pay attention to that. And if you use a travel planner, we recommend using Liz with Starship Travel. Her link is down below. But if you use a travel planner like Liz, she will let you know and keep you reminded about those important dates.
She won't do it for you, but she'll remind you of it.
Correct. She'll remind you and keep you on track to make sure you have the best experience possible. Some of the things that you can do at a certain mark, which I know is so bad, I don't know exactly the mark of how many days out. I think it might be 60 days or so from your sail date. You can book your specialty dining, things to do like on Castaway Cay, which is Disney's private island. Like if you want to book a cabana, or experiences, you have all that stuff that you can book. So keep that in mind. Specialty dining, especially Palo, goes pretty quick. We did Remy.
Yes.
We got that. I kept looking, though, to try to get Palo instead of Remy, but I'm really happy that we did Remy. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit. So things we packed. Well, I'll let you talk a little bit about packing.
Okay. So, of course, you pack the essentials of what you want to wear throughout the days, depending on how long you go. And then for specialty dining, they do have a dress code. So for Remy, so we wanted to dress. What was the? There's no jeans.
I don't know. There's no jeans, and the same with Palo too. There's no jeans at Palo. So if you're dining at Remy or Palo for specialty dining, no jeans. I believe you have to have a collar. So whether it's a polo or a button down.
And then for the women.
Yeah, I was just
essentially the same thing.
Or probably the same thing.
Like no jeans, anything like that. But yeah, essentially the same thing. And then, of course, we packed for our...
Beach day?
Yes, our beach day.
At Castaway?
Yes. We packed for our beach day. And then a tidbit that I didn't know of, you can pack either a 6-pack or 2 bottles of wine to bring with you on the cruise. I had no idea that was
so it's a bottle per person.
So 2 for us, yes.
Yeah, or you could do, I don't know if you can do a 6-pack per, I think you could do a 6-pack per person. So a 6-pack per person or a bottle per person is your choice, and that's beer.
Yes.
No 6-pack of anything else.
Okay, yeah.
Just beer.
What you said. So that was essentially what we packed, and then, just the normal stuff you take on vacation.
So if you, it's really easy if you're a Central Florida local or a Florida local and you're driving in, make sure to bring those, if you drink alcohol or you want to have wine, bring that with you because it's a nice feature. Not all cruise lines do that, but Disney does, and that's a nice feature to be able to do that. The day of embarkation, leaving, heading out, we drove from Central Florida. It's not too bad of a drive to Port Canaveral.
Would you say like an hour and a half or 2?
I know, it's less than that. It's like, I would say an hour 15.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It might have felt longer because you were excited, but it's really not that bad. We left with probably an hour and a half, almost 2 hours before we needed to. We were excited, and we were ready to get there.
Yeah, when we got there pretty early.
Yeah.
Because we got there as another ship was coming in.
Right.
As the other families were leaving, we were just getting there.
We
we were kind of early.
We saw some of the last families probably getting off as we were pulling up. The one thing that we didn't mention is we did do a week quarantine.
So
ourselves, we self-quarantined. We decided at the time COVID was still kind of heightened, so we wanted to make sure that we were just coming out of the winter, and so we wanted to make sure that we were protected. We wanted to make sure we were going to board this ship and didn't want to postpone it, so we did self-quarantine just to make sure. We tested ourselves with home kits as we went into quarantine, just so we knew, even though those aren't 100% accurate, just so we had a little bit of peace of mind that we were negative, and then we just self-quarantine. For our next cruise, we're not gonna be as strict about that.
Yeah.
I think you're just gonna have to gauge it depending on how severe the COVID or whatever is being passed.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the time, it was kind of coming out of heightened cases, and now we're getting the summer months, so it's not as rampant. So we'll just kind of gauge that in the future. But especially since this was even though it was a short trip, it was kind of a big trip that we spent a lot of money on. We wanted to make sure, and we were really excited to go. So we just decided to self-quarantine. So that's just a little tidbit. That's not a requirement. That was just us making sure that we boarded that ship.
And so, once we arrived, they have a process of doing the COVID test before you get on board. So you drive through, they give you the self-test kit, but then there's someone in the parking lot assisting you telling you the whole process of how to go through it.
Yeah. It was super simple.
Mm-hmm.
You drop off your bags first.
Correct.
Then your next stop, like right there after you drop your bags off, is the turn-in to do the testing from the car. I think if you come by bus, those tents there's tents set up there.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that come in via bus from like Walt Disney World.
Correct. So if you're not doing self-parking, there's a station for testing.
They're just big white tents that they have testing centers.
Correct.
But in the car, you just drive up. They give you instruction what's going to happen, and then eventually you get the kit, and you follow their instructions, take the test, and then
do the swabs, put it in their solution, hand it off to them. They verify you to make sure that it is you. Correct. When you get there. Then you hand it to them, and then you go park, and the waiting starts.
Yeah.
Which wasn't too long, but it felt like forever because we were super nervous.
Right. We just wanted to get our answers.
Yeah, just the clear, because that's literally the last part before you get on the cruise. Right. And so once we got the all clear to go, we started the boarding process.
Yep. And I don't know, we probably waited 40 minutes.
Yeah, we got an early boarding group, like you mentioned, which was nice. So, yeah, once we boarded...
Yeah, and so we had to wait more. After we got the approval to board, we went up to the terminal. We were if you've ever done it before, there's a big terminal area, which before COVID, that's where you would kind of get all processed and everything. But right now, it's just kind of a waiting room. We waited there, I would say, for another 30 to 40 minutes waiting to actually board, or for them to even start calling groups. So just because you have like a 10:45 a.m. Reservation time doesn't mean that as soon as you get cleared to board that you're going to board immediately. You might, if you're still one of those early groups, you still might have to wait. And I'm not sure what time they start the test, but my guess is probably they start around 10:30. We were pretty early in the day because when we got and were waiting in the area, there wasn't that many families waiting yet.
No, yeah.
So we were one of the first ones to get approved to board. But we just waited there till our boarding group was called. I think we were like, I don't know, 6 or something.
Yeah, like 6 or 8.
And they went by pretty quickly in terms of...
the sections of groups.
Yeah, of the groups. But then we were on, and what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, as we board, they ask you for your family name, and they make an announcement, and you walk through, this is the atrium?
Yes.
This is the middle of, yeah. And
I hear that doesn't happen on other cruise ships.
No, which it makes you feel so special, because they make a huge announcement, and they have the cast members all standing there, like, applauding you, and then you look up, and then there's Mickey and Minnie.
Right.
Coming to say hi.
Which, before COVID, that wasn't a thing. Your name would be announced, but that's it. Your name would be announced, and
then you would just go on.
Just do whatever you wanted to do.
Right. But now they kind of section it off to where they make the announcement, they say your name, and you wait socially distanced on little markers, and they do a show, which would normally be later in the day.
Correct. So the show would normally be like the Castaway, not Castaway, but the Sail Away party.
Yes. And
you would go to the deck, and the characters would come out, and there'd be like a little dance party, and which was really cool. But it's nice that they were doing this as a way to make up for not having the deck parties. At this point, though, they were having deck parties anyway, so I don't really know why they're not doing the deck parties.
I think it was because everyone was just getting on. They just didn't want it to be, I guess, all together. I don't know. Yeah. But it was still fun nonetheless.
So after we saw Mickey and Minnie, and there was a little mini show there in the atrium, then they were basically pushing us. And this is where I was not very happy with the cruise in terms of communication and the next steps. And there was some crew members that weren't really sure about things and answers, but the next step was they had us go up, and you enter on the Dream, you enter on the 3rd deck, and then they wanted us to go up to the 4th deck, which is the promenade deck, and they wanted us to go to our safety check, our muster station.
Correct. Yeah.
And I made a mistake of not printing out something that was sent to the email, which you guys need to make sure you have your QR codes printed. It's basically like your pass to get on the ship that I did not print out because I probably saw and forgot, and Yeah. So make sure you print yours out.
Yeah, so we had to shuffle to find it throughout like the apps and emails, but we found it eventually.
We found our muster station. We went to our muster station, but there was just kind of, they were forcing you there, but then you didn't really have to do that right away because we continued to get messaging throughout the day that make sure you do it by such and such time. But they were like really pushing. It's good that we got it out of the way, but there was just some frustration there because I didn't have the things that I needed, and people were having a hard time telling me what I actually needed
because they kind of didn't know. It was kind of a disconnect, but at the end of the day, it was fine.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it was fine. But we got our muster state. We had to take a picture, right?
Yeah. So that's the way they kind of check you in to say you did it and you're done.
And you do it on the app. So make sure that you download the app before you board the ship. Because first of all, it's fun because you can get a countdown before you arrive. You get
so cute
countdown of how many days. And then when you're on board the ship, of course, then you have a bunch more features. And their app is really good.
Yeah.
Very good app. And so you do that muster station drill all through the app, and then you're free to start exploring the ship.
Yeah, you do whatever. And so we actually started out with, Cabanas, which is their...
Well, it's their buffet.
Yeah, it's their buffet. It's their main dining area that everyone can go to. So we got their buffet. It wasn't like with COVID, it's not like an original, you grab what you want. There's people there at the stations. You just ask for what you want, and they give you as many as you want.
Which I liked.
Yeah.
Because there's less hands on the food. Because buffets can get nasty with, the kids, like, just running up and touching everything. And so it felt a little bit nicer to have it to where people just handed you stuff. So I don't mind that. So on our cruise, we were one of the last crews to have to wear masks inside. So we were wearing masks inside.
Yeah, it was like the weekend before or something. And then they changed it.
But now they've changed it so you don't have to wear masks inside. But of course, when you're watching this, hopefully it hasn't changed back to masks. But I mean, there's a possibility. So just do your research. So yeah, we had lunch at Cabanas. And then I left you real quick. I ran up to the spa because we wanted to book Rainforest Room, which Rainforest Room is an area of the spa where before COVID, you could get a Rainforest Pass, and anytime during the day or the days that you had the Rainforest Pass, you could enjoy the experience showers, the steam rooms, the saunas, the whirlpools out on the deck, and the heated chairs. All that is included in the rainforest. We have a little bit of a video about that. You can go and watch our rainforest experience.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
But the way they have it set up now is you don't get a pass for a day or for your full length of stay on the ship. You book time slots, and so you get like an hour and 45-minute time slot, and it's about $200-ish, but you need to go and book it when you're on the ship. You can't book it before. So you have to go when you're on the ship. So as we were kind of finishing up, I let TJ continue to eat, and since I knew where I was going, I ran over to the spa really quick to get us all set up for that. And so we got scheduled for Sunday afternoon. There was still some times available, but you just want to make sure that you go and do it if that's an experience that you want.
And if you have other stuff scheduled, you just want to do it on your time.
Yes. So that is about $200-ish for up to 10 people, and those 10 people all need to be in your travel party. So for us, it was just the two of us. So it's a little bit expensive. To be candid, I don't think we would do that every time, or it's nice to be able to experience that and have that, but at that price point for those basically an hour and 45 minutes, it's a nice little chunk of change for that. So I wouldn't do that every time, but whenever the mood strikes on the next cruise, if that's still the way it is, maybe. But on a future cruise. But so we scheduled that, and then we just kind of started to explore the ship. Yeah,
we just kind of did a tour. A lot of the youth clubs were open, and so you could just kind of walk about and do a tour of those. And there were how many? It's like 5 or so.
There's
a lot. Because they do it based off of ages.
So the kids clubs, I have it here on my phone. It's a small world. That's for like babies. That is not open right now. So there was no tour. We couldn't really get a glimpse of that. And then there's the Oceaneers Club, the Oceaneers Lab, and then there's the Edge, which is I think like preteen, tween.
Yeah, that range.
And then there's Vibe, which is for the older teens. Older teens, excuse me. So we toured all of those and got footage of those, and then we showed those in our previous video. Yeah. So you can go and look. We'll have those all linked in the description below, so you can go check those out. But they're pretty cool. Vibe is really cool, and then the Oceaneer Club and Labs are pretty cool as well.
Yeah, I believe the Oceaneers Lab had the whole Star Wars section, which you would think you were in Galaxy's Edge. Yeah. With that little section, it was so cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. So we did that. What did we do next on that day?
I think by that time we just ended up we walked to our room.
Oh, that's right.
And so, thankfully, when we walked there, our bags were already there.
Yes. I think our room was ready at about, at least when we got there, when we went to go, because like I think we noticed like, it seemed like rooms were ready. Because
as we're walking through the hallways.
Yeah, as we're walking through hallways and I kind of had done some research, so I knew what to look for. But they put your room. You didn't get your room key till you went to your room to see if it was ready. But they have the little fish hooks, and they put it in the fish hook next to the door, the room key, and so that's the way we could tell that these rooms were ready to go. And so we kept seeing a lot of rooms ready. So we're like, well, let's go check ours. Right. I think it was by 2:30ish is when we were checking our room to see. Maybe a little bit sooner than that.
Yeah, because we didn't do like a full tour of the ship. So by the time we got there, it was ready.
Yeah, it was ready. So we hung out and just kind of enjoyed the room. We spent time in the room as we sailed away. So we didn't go up to any deck on sail away. We just stayed in the room for sail away out of Port Canaveral. What else did we do?
I think that night, did we see Beauty and the Beast?
We saw Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
I'm just trying to make sure we didn't really do any. Oh, we got room service.
Yes, which is probably one of my favorite things to do. You would think of all the things, it was one of my favorite things to do because it is 24/7, and I loved it. So even though we ate kind of like a late lunch, it wasn't really late.
No, it wasn't late.
No, so I don't want to say that.
It was right. It was normal lunch, babe.
Yeah, so we ate lunch when we first got on, and then I looked at the room service menu, and they had quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so
Well, I knew that it would be a while till dinner, because we had an 8:15 seating for dinner.
Right.
So we needed to have something between our regular lunch, right around noon is when we had lunch, and our 8:15 dinner.
Right. Good point. Yeah.
That's definitely why we did that.
So yeah, that's how we found out what the everything on that menu was, but it was very good.
So pro tip too, so the menu that you see in the room, like the folded menu, no wait, it wasn't. It was on the app.
Yeah, it was on that.
Yeah, so you look at the menu on the app, and you can order 24/7, but breakfast is not, and this is a pro tip that we learned like as the day we were leaving, but the breakfast card is in the drawer of your stateroom.
Yeah.
And we didn't see it, but the breakfast card will have breakfast delivered to your room in the morning. You just fill it out and leave it on the door before you go to sleep.
By a certain time.
And then you tell them on the card what time you want breakfast, and I'm sure it works flawlessly, perfectly. But we didn't experience that because I didn't really think about it that hard, but I was like, kind of that last day, I was like, I know
that would have been nice, yeah.
I know that they do breakfast.
And then we found it.
Yeah. I wonder if they do breakfast on the very last day. Like if they'll bring breakfast to your room on the day that you get off the ship, because I think I would rather do that than go to a dining room for breakfast on the last day.
Yeah, because that was a little chaotic. We'll get to that, but that was the last day.
Yeah, I don't ever want to do that again. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, it was a little chaotic, but yeah, it was funny. Every time I called for room service, the lady, she kind of knew that everyone was kind of doing the same thing, and so she said, "What do you want?" Yep. Okay, bye.
Well, yeah, she was
straight to the point.
Fast.
Straight to the point.
You better know what you want when you call room service, because they're trying to get those orders out and do, I'm sure, 100 other things.
Right.
Then we watched Beauty and the Beast. that
which
night
was amazing.
Fantastic.
I can't say
I've
enough good
never,
things about it.
on a Disney ship, I've never seen a show to the caliber of Beauty and the Beast. I'm to the point now with some of the shows on the Disney ships, like, I don't need to see them. Like, I don't need to watch them. Like, they're fun and nice, but...
But this one, we had heard really good things about it before.
I would see it again. If we Sail on the Dream again, and it's still playing that show, I would see it again. There's some shows on the ships where I will see it with you again because you haven't seen it, but then probably you'll still feel the same way. Like, after you see it once...
I've seen it, and
I'm good. But this show is...
I would see it again.
100% really good, and we definitely recommend it. If you're sailing on the Disney Dream, check out Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, the cast, the technical aspects of it, it was amazing.
It was like, it was Broadway.
Yeah, I was kind of like, are we still on the ship right now?
Yeah, it was Broadway.
Very cool.
And it's kind of, the aesthetic is more of the live action Beauty and the Beast that released a few years ago. So it's kind of, it has a nice aesthetic, and it's just very, very well done. So after the show, we went to the Pink Lounge, Champagne Lounge.
Yeah, it was very unique.
It's beautiful.
It was, but it was very unique because you would never expect that.
On a cruise ship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of blew me away because when you first walk in, you see, oh, pink. But then you turn to the left, and there's like nothing but like champagne glasses and bottles. Yeah. It's so cool.
It's really pretty. So we had a drink in there, just kind of relaxed, and waited till it was our time for dinner, which, like we said, I think we had a 8:15 dinner time. And the first night we were at Royal Palace. So we went and had a nice meal at Royal Palace. We have a whole food video, so we're not going to talk too much about food here. You'll just go and watch that video that breaks down the food that we had.
Yeah, but that night was very good. Yes. I will say that, yeah.
You tried escargot for the first time?
I don't think that was the first time, but it was very good. No,
okay.
I'm sure I've had it before, but it was good.
And then after that, I think we were done. Let's see. I also have my phone to look at pictures, so it also helps us. Yeah, we were done.
A mental recap, we kind of just,
We were done because the next morning we were waking up relatively early.
Yeah, I got up early because I wanted to check out their gym and their gym services, and I think it was me and maybe 2 or 3 other people on the entire cruise that got up that early to go to the gym.
So this is my pro tip.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, I've done gym on this trip. I didn't do gym on the ship, but in the past, I've done gym in the mornings early because I'm an early riser.
Mm-hmm.
And in the past, all my other cruises, I've traveled with other people, like friends in the cabin.
Yeah.
Who don't rise as early as I do. So what I would do is I would go work out in the gym and then shower in the locker rooms that are right next door, because you have a bigger shower.
Yeah.
They have all the same H2O products in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of get ready in the gym and start your day that way while everyone else is getting ready in the cabin. So if you're traveling with friends, that's a pro tip for you. You don't have to get ready in your cabin, especially if you're a guy and you don't have your full makeup and all that stuff.
Yeah. But I will say the showers are bigger there, but
Yeah.
that's not to say that the showers are small in the rooms.
No, the showers are fine in the rooms.
Yeah, and we're pretty tall,
Yeah.
and I got in there fine.
You have to watch your step when you get in.
Because there's a ledge, yes, but yeah,
they're perfect size. But pro tip if you're traveling with friends and you're splitting the cost. Well, I guess you don't technically really split the cost. Because everyone has to pay at some point. I think when you start adding people, like the 3rd and 4th person is not as expensive. So, but if you're traveling with more people, that's a pro tip. The locker room in the gym in the mornings is never busy.
Yeah, no one's ever there.
Never busy. All right, so the next day...
so after the gym, I kind of came back, we got ready.
While he was in the gym...
Oh, you went to go...
I went up on the deck to watch us come into Castaway Cay.
Yeah, and to get to catch the sunrise.
Yeah.
I think we kind of both caught at the same time, because I was done at the gym, so I just met him upstairs.
Yes.
It was so pretty.
I've never watched coming into Castaway Cay, like the full experience of coming into Castaway Cay and docking there.
Yeah,
but
them maneuvering.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And then we
did breakfast.
We did breakfast at Cabanas.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a morning where I would have done breakfast in the room.
Yeah, because it's more relaxed.
Yeah. We did breakfast at Cabanas, which was fine. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
And then we headed down and...
Oh, but a pro tip, you have to mention getting a boarding group to get off.
Oh, that's right. So there is a virtual queue.
Yes.
To get off the ship at, I think, any port that you go to. Our only stop this cruise was at Castaway.
Mm-hmm.
So we got our virtual queue, I think it was at 7 a.m. we got a virtual queue.
Mm-hmm. So we set an alarm for that. We were already up, but...
and I think our time to get off was like at about 8:15 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And we went down and got off the ship and started our activities at Castaway Key.
Yeah, and we have a video for that as well. But it was so nice. It was so relaxing. We started off with snorkeling. I think that was your first time, like, ever. It
was my first time. It wasn't the best.
I think you did okay.
I was doing okay, but my equipment was failing, and it was failing quickly. The tube thing kept like falling off, and I had to like hold it up, and it just wasn't the best experience. And I think I did okay. I would have had more fun if I had better equipment.
Yeah, and you can bring your own.
Because I would have kept going, like I would have, but I was just taking on water, and the mask was just not very good, and
the water was super salty.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing my best not to breathe, or to breathe accordingly. So it was equipment failure because I was kind of having fun and I was getting into a relaxed state until my equipment started to fail.
Yeah.
So
it's okay.
We need to buy. We need to buy our own. Yeah. So all the footage, if you're watching this, you get the pro tips. Is any TikToks I do or Instagram reels or anything, any of the footage basically of underwater, that's all TJ. I went out about like halfway, and then came back. And
you said I'm good.
And I said I'm good. I'm good. And then TJ
made a few laps.
Yeah, I think you went out twice.
Yeah.
Three? No, twice.
Yeah, because they mark underwater statues. There's different things, but they mark them off by buoys. Yeah. And so I made like a few laps because I missed some the first go round.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have gone back and just like replaced my mask or whatever, but
yeah, you can ask for another one. But
at that
point,
point, yeah. I had like salty mouth and like I was over it.
Yeah.
So, but I will try again, and I will get my own equipment, and I'll practice in the bathtub.
Okay. Yeah, still make a mess. But yeah, so after that we migrated because we had the whole day there. We migrated to our next spot.
But we did get a really nice seats that first stop where we stopped for snorkeling. So when you get your snorkel gear, there's a space with lounge chairs, the beach lounge chairs, and umbrellas and palm trees, and it's elevated above the rest of the beach, and you have a nice overlook. You can see the ship. It's just really beautiful. So
if you're like renting equipment or anything, it's immediately to the right. You'll see it.
It's really nice. Mm-hmm. And of course we had other things. It was TJ's first time. We wanted to make sure we saw the island. There was activities we wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So we didn't stay there the whole day, but I do recommend that spot. It's just kind of far from like the food and all that stuff.
Yeah, you would have to make a little hike to go get to the other
But
stuff.
It's nice if you're just going like and spending, the morning there and just wanting to chill for a couple hours. Mm-hmm. It's nice.
Yeah. And so our next spot that we migrated to was...
We didn't talk about the characters.
Oh, we're going to get to that.
Well, I mean, like the characters like walking on to Castaway.
Okay.
We saw Chip and Dale.
So we'll backtrack. Yeah, my two favorites. As you're coming the path walking to the beaches, you'll see Chip and Dale in their little swimsuits.
And we saw Donald.
Mm-hmm. He was on the beach. He's number one.
It's fun. It's just fun to see the characters. And we missed Mickey and Minnie. I think you saw them driving on a... Did you see them driving on a cart? But I never saw them.
Before we got off. We saw them like they were getting taken to their spot. Like they were getting driven in one of the carts. Mm-hmm. So, but we never saw them. Like,
we never saw them.
I think we missed them, but it's okay.
So what do we do next? After snorkeling?
We kind of migrated over to the family beach and we did some...
bicycle ride.
Yeah, we did the bicycle ride.
What I did is I got a package, and it was on the app before we boarded. I got probably the same time around when I booked Remy. I booked a package for Castaway Key that gave us the snorkeling gear, a bicycle, and I think it gave us something else. But yeah, that was the most important thing. The snorkeling gear.
Just those two. It was a third thing, but yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
It's okay.
We didn't use it.
No. But it was good. It was nice that once we got up to the station where they do the bike renting stuff, I felt like they kind of knew us. That they just said, "Go ahead, pick whatever you want." There you go.
Check us.
Yeah, they didn't ask. I feel like they assumed that a lot of people bought that package, or they
didn't check.
Didn't really care.
I don't even take our stateroom number.
No, because normally that's how you pay for things. They ask for your state number.
We did sign a waiver, so maybe that's how they did it. Because we did sign a waiver.
So maybe they check after the fact.
Did we sign a waiver for snorkeling too?
No.
Okay.
No, they just rented it. They did ask us information about that though. As far as we told them we had a package and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as far as bike riding, yeah.
Even taking the snorkeling gear, they really didn't ask.
Can you swim? They never asked.
No,
that.
they didn't ask if for our stateroom or anything.
No, they did before.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah.
But we did bicycle, which I had never done bicycle. I'd never done snorkeling either. That was my first time snorkeling. And of course, I've ridden a bike, but I mean, never bicycled on the island.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, they do it to where it's on the path that you can sign up to do a Disney run.
Yes.
On Castaway Cay, but the bike trail is on that same route, which was really cool because there's like hidden not statues, but there's like hidden artifacts.
And then we drove out to an observation deck,
so you can see like along the whole island.
They have water stations too, which is nice along the path, and it's with ice water. They have ice water in the water at the water stations, so that's nice. And then we took our bikes back, and then we went to the Serenity Bay, which is the adult area,
which I believe is 13 and older. It's an age limit.
Yeah, but I think it's like I thought it was 18. And
it's
older.
not 18. It's a little younger than that. But
really?
It's in the video, but there's an age limit. It's like that age and up.
And so we had lunch there.
Yes, which lunch was
okay.
It was good. It wasn't like wow, but it wasn't bad.
We have been seeing some people talk about, lunch is amazing on Castaway. It's okay.
It's stuff you would have at like a normal cookout.
It's very like theme park.
But yes, that
backyard barbecue, mass-produced buffet food. It was fine.
But you can get as much as you want. You can go back in line.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was good. But yeah.
And my mom went on a cruise before us. My mom and dad went on a cruise before us, a few weeks before us. They went out of Miami, and they had 2 stops at Castaway. And I asked her, did the food change? And she said basically, no, the food didn't really change. So if you have 2 Castaway stops, the food doesn't really change.
Same
it's about the same. They have their standard that they have in place that they serve on Castaway. So, but it's fine. It's not bad food by any means. It's just there's nothing. I don't really have anything for you that I would say get this on Castaway. So, and then we hung out by the beach for a little bit.
Yeah, and it was very relaxing because the part where we kind of went to, it was a little towards the end. No one was really there, so it was, very quiet.
And we did have a schedule to keep because we had booked spa appointments for massage. We didn't really talk about that. We did book Rainforest for Sunday, but that Saturday we had already booked spa massages. So we had spa treatments. TJ had, I think you had an 80-minute.
It was like 80 or 90.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I just had a 50-minute massage. My massage was good.
Mine was good too.
We will say though,
the only downside was they were
trying to upsell.
They're very salesy.
Yeah. So be prepared. Prepare your heart if you're going in to do spa treatment or anything at the spa. They are going to try to upsell you. Yeah. Just be prepared for that. And of course, listen to whatever they have to present to you, but just be prepared. It kind of turned a relaxing moment into not so relaxing when they're trying to then
push you onto something.
They actually took TJ into a separate room to sell him on try to sell him on acupuncture.
I'm not gonna lie, she was a little good with her finagle and how she got me in there. But she kind of like once I was done, she initially talked about, so we have this and we have this. And I'm like, that's nice. And I'm like I'm not going to be disrespectful. I will listen to you, of course.
TJ's way nicer than me.
I was being nice. And so she said, I have a pamphlet on acupuncture. I can show you. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And she's like, come this way. I'm like, okay. And so before I know it, there's another lady in this other room And she's like, all right, I'll leave you to it. And I said, I'm sorry, what now? And she kind of goes through her speech as well. And was like, oh, do you want to walk up front and sign up for it? And I was like, let me go check. I just kind of left. So
that show, just a little warning. The spa is great. The Sense Spa on board, all of the ships are great. No matter if you're on the Magic, Wonder, or the Dream and Fantasy, all of the spas are very nice and they're very friendly, but just be aware of that.
Yeah, like at one point, like the massage was amazing. At one point, I almost kind of fell asleep. Forgot I was there, but yeah, just heads up for that.
Yeah. Okay, so after spa, we kind of had some downtime. I thought that maybe we would have a show to see, but we didn't. There was no show on the second night.
No.
So we were good for that. So we had some time to kill before heading to dinner. So we did grab a snack. We grabbed a snack at, there's like quick service on the pool deck, like Flo's.
Yeah, the 3 shops are like Cars themed.
Yeah. And so there's like pizza, sandwiches.
Yeah, there's like pizzas, wraps. There was a veggie option.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Yeah. So we stopped there, grabbed our kind of late afternoon snack to hold us over for dinner. And then we had dinner that night. And I'm looking at my pictures here. We don't have any pictures until Animator's Palette. So
we probably just took a nap.
Yeah, we just hung out until it was time to do Animator's Palette.
Which I think out of the 3 dinners, that one was probably my favorite.
Actually, that was a really good dinner.
Because of the theming. And then the interaction with the dinner guests throughout the night was really cool.
Yeah. So go watch our video on dinner or on food.
Yeah.
On board.
All the dining. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll see our experience at Animator's Palette.
Which is really cool.
And then
I think there was a stage show after that.
No,
well, not a stage show or deck party.
Oh, yes, there was a deck party. That was fireworks night, too.
Oh, okay.
So it was actually fireworks. After dinner, we went to go see the fireworks. I think they were shot off at like around 9:15, maybe 9:30. So we saw fireworks.
And I thought it was so cool that you could see out in the distance all of the other cruise lines watching our fireworks.
There was more ships watching the Disney fireworks than I've ever seen before. It always happens because Disney's the only cruise ship that does fireworks off their ships. And I had never seen so many ships lined up to watch.
There were like
fireworks.
8 or 9.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
At least.
It was pretty cool.
So we watched the fireworks, which was awesome. And then there was a deck party, a dance party, which we watched for a little while.
It was cute.
It was cute. And then that was our evening. We had a great first full day. And the next day we had a day at sea. Because there was no other stop. It was just this 3-night, only did Castaway and then a day at sea.
Yeah, and so the day at sea our route kind of went, you could see Miami in the distance as we were going back.
The whole time on that second day at sea, we were just along the coast of Florida. South Florida. So on our day at sea, we explored a little bit. We had brunch reservations for Remy, so we did not eat a lot. I think we ate a little something maybe at Cabanas. I think we ate a little bit of something, but not much.
Oh, we haven't talked about our favorite coffee spot.
Yeah, but we did stop at the Cove,
which has the best coffee I think I've ever had.
So Cove Cafe, they have great baristas right now on the Disney Dream, and we stopped there several times throughout our stay. Very good, highly recommend. And they do have little pastries that you can get in the morning for breakfast time, and then in the evening they switch those over. They have like a cheese plate you can get and some other items that are more savory for the later hours in the day. The food is included in the cruise fare, but the coffee, the specialty coffee, is an extra cost.
Right, but it was definitely
worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. So we did that, and then we had brunch at Remy's, which was fantastic. It is a $75 per person experience, but I think it's well worth the money. Included in that is a glass of champagne, and then like 5 courses, something like that. Very much worth it. The chef is The chefs that curated that menu are from Victoria and Albert's at Disney's Grand Floridian, as well as there is a Michelin star chef, a 3-star Michelin star chef, who curated that menu, and it was fantastic. And you liked it, right?
I loved all of it.
Yeah, it was, and it was relaxing.
That too.
The experience was really, really relaxing. The service was on point, very good.
Yeah, this is the one we had to dress up for, so it was much more high end and much more quiet, relaxed, like you mentioned. And I loved how with each of the dishes they brought out, they gave a little history behind it.
Yes, they talked each dish. It was just really nice. So go watch our dining. I almost said TikTok, but our dining video.
Yeah, so we go through in detail all of everything that we had.
Did you pronounce everything? You did that video. Did you say what everything was in that video?
No, I think we kind of did a joint one on that.
Oh, did we? Oh, okay. I don't remember doing that.
I don't know if we pronounced everything because we don't want to insult or anybody. So
yeah, our French is no bueno.
Okay, so
that was Spanish.
It sure was. So yeah, after that, what did we do?
During our sea day too, we also spent some time in the adult areas. Satellite Falls, which it's in the adult area, it's the big kind of round satellites, the sphere satellites, and they have a waterfall coming down from them, and it's a nice kind of like pool area, very shallow pool to just lounge and relax. So we relaxed there for a while.
And it was heated, I'm sure.
Yeah. And
I feel like the brick that I was laying on was heated too.
Probably.
It was nice.
But the adult areas on the Dream and the Fantasy are pretty big. The Magic and the Wonder ships both have the adult areas. They're just not as large and expansive, in my opinion, as they are on the Fantasy and the Dream. So we relaxed there a little while, and then that was our rainforest room day. So we went and
we did that after,
yeah, we did rainforest in the afternoon after brunch. And that was very relaxing, and we do feature that in our activities video, which will again be linked in the description below, so you can check that out further.
Yeah, and that's like we mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video, we could each bring a bottle of wine. That's where we brought one of them, just to have for ourselves.
Because I had heard that from somebody else. I think even before boarding the ship, I heard that you could bring your wine to the rainforest room experience, and so we did, and so we had wine in the rainforest room experience. It was very nice. Just be careful when you're drinking alcohol and you're in those very heated areas. You want to be careful that
you're staying hydrated.
You're staying hydrated,
because they do offer spa water, which is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you have the whole place to yourself. But go check that out on our activities video.
With the two of us, I think it's still worth it, obviously. But if you have a bigger group, it makes it fun.
Yeah.
And so after the rainforest room, we did some trivia, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't very long. I was expecting the trivia to be longer.
And true. They have several throughout the entirety of the cruise.
Right. We did 90s.
Yeah.
Right? We did 90s.
Yeah, so it was 90s music. And I think we did okay. There were some that
we didn't do that great,
but it's fine.
Yeah,
and we did it for the fun of it.
Yeah, but it's fun. You definitely should check out some of the trivia. That was the first time I'd ever done any trivia on the ship, but it's fun to check that out. And we had cocktails while we enjoyed the trivia, and then we continued on in the area where there was the trivia. There was also other bars. It was kind of like the nighttime district on the ship, and so we kind of bar hopped a little bit and enjoyed our time as we prepared for dinner. And we had dinner that evening at the Enchanted Garden.
But going back to the bars, the 90s music trivia, where that was in one of the bars, and then we went to another bar that was kind of like sports themed, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And it's funny, as I was going like throughout the ship, when I went to the gym, one of the personal trainers, he was there in the morning, and he's a Liverpool fan like I am, and I was asking, hey, is the game, because there was a game that was going to be on that weekend, I was asking if the game was going to be on in that pub, and with the licensing, Disney wasn't allowed to show it because it wasn't on ESPN. Which I was a little heartbroken, but it's okay. We won.
So basically, on the Disney ships, then you can only see things that are on ABC and ESPN.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. they can't show NBC or anything like that.
Right.
Got it.
No Fox or Universal.
Got it. All right. I'm sorry, babe.
Nope. So after we did some of the bar hopping, we went to dinner. And dinner was at?
Dinner was at the Enchanted Garden.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty restaurant, though it's not as pretty as it once was, because they used to have these really beautiful pods that as you entered the room, like, I don't know, 8 of the table were these really fancy pod tables that really made the room more spectacular, and those pods were removed, I'm guessing to leave more room for physically distancing tables, because right now the nice thing is, and TJ and I had this conversation today, is that on Disney Cruise Line right now, the time they're recording, you will not be seated with other parties.
Really nice.
You are seated only with the party that's in your cabin or your traveling party. So because they were having to physically distance tables, I'm sure that's why those big like booths, banquettes were taken out, which are so pretty. And I've actually had experience where one cruise I sat in them, and they're really nice. Yeah. So it was sad to see those gone. It kind of took away from the Enchanted Garden for me, but that's because I've experienced it in its original format. But Enchanted Garden is a pretty restaurant that is modeled after the gardens of Versailles. Yeah.
And I think this one was, there was character dining, but I think with this one, it was a little bit longer because it was kind of like a mini show where they walked throughout the restaurant. Whereas before, our first night,
the prince, I think we only saw Tiana,
and she just walked through once.
The Royal Palace, we only saw Tiana walk through. There was no characters that came to Animator's Palette.
They were kind of on the screens, but
yeah,
they don't come up to
that
you.
Was a character feature on the screens, right, but not any in-person, like, off-the-screen characters. And then, like TJ said, Enchanted Garden had the Fab Five, so Mickey, Minnie, Goofy was there.
And Pluto.
He
was on the other side.
Was Donald there?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that Donald wasn't there. But in the past, I don't remember that happening. Oh. So I think I think it could possibly be a COVID thing that they implemented, like having the characters come through. And I don't remember the princesses walking through Royal Palace. So if you remember that before COVID times, let us know in the comments. Were the characters in the dining rooms before COVID? Because I don't remember that. Unless it's a specific character experience, like I've been on the Wonder, they have a Tiana's Place restaurant, and so Tiana and Louis, and they're there, and then on the Wonder I believe it's Rapunzel, and so I think Rapunzel at Rapunzel's restaurant comes out, of course. But other than that, I don't remember characters really being in dining rooms. So I don't know. But that was it. That was the kind of the end of our final full day on the ship. And then the next morning we had to
pack in. Yeah, we had to pack in, go eat breakfast. We did do coffee one more time, right?
Yeah. No, we didn't wind up doing it.
You're right, we didn't make it.
Breakfast was kind of just like, so we didn't do it.
That's why we didn't do it. So kind of backtracking to what we said earlier, the last breakfast was kind of hectic because everyone's trying to get off and do their thing.
There's lots of bags all over the place, people running into each other. It just wasn't very organized. So our final breakfast wasn't the best. So the way it happens on Disney ships is wherever you dined on your final evening, whatever dining room you had, that's where you can go and have breakfast in a dining room. So as your final meal on the ship. And that's, if you don't pass over the tip to your servers on that night before, then that's when you would pass the tips off to them, which is really just kind of a formal gesture of doing that. And you can add more tip to the envelope if you so choose. But we did this. We were planning to go to breakfast, so we did that breakfast. I think next time I would just tip them on the final night, and then I would I would probably do both. I would do, if I can, order breakfast to the room, get breakfast to the room, and then go to Cove Cafe right before getting off the ship. And that would be totally worth it. You don't need to go back to a dining room again.
No.
And then we would have been able to walk the decks one more time on the ship, which we really didn't.
No. We got after breakfast we were like,
we went from the room to the dining room
and got off.
And that was it.
Yeah. As we're getting so once you get off, you go through customs, they ask you questions, make sure you're not bringing anything back you're not supposed to, And then
It wasn't dramatic.
No, not by any means, but
Were you scared?
no. But yeah, once you go through customs, you're free to go. We went back to our car and just drove home.
Yeah. You never really want to get off. But I was talking to Liz today, Liz just got off a Royal Caribbean ship, and you don't want to get off, but then like when you're off, you do feel kind of like you're kind of tired and like
Ready to be home.
You need to recoup from the vacation. Ready to be home. I could have stayed on the ship a little bit longer. We always could stay on the ship a little bit longer. So of course you always want more than a 3-night, but a 3-night offers you a really good experience. We got to see every dining room that they have and experience that. We got to see the show. Like, you get a lot of entertainment and value out of a 3-night cruise, and you can pack a lot into it.
Yeah, there's enough time to get everything done.
Yeah.
And for a beginner, if you're new to cruising, I think that's a good starting point.
Yes, for sure. So our next cruise, we have been invited by Virgin Voyages to experience a Virgin Voyages cruise, which we're excited about.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I've seen videos and it looks amazing.
Yes, we've been watching the videos and getting ready and doing our homework.
Doing our research.
So we're excited to bring you more cruise content. We really didn't expect to be going on another cruise so soon, but the opportunity was presented to us, and so we said, yes, we will go.
Yeah, I was spoiled I was like, I've never been on a cruise. I get to go on a Disney cruise in 1 month, and then I'm going on a Virgin cruise, so I'm going on 2 in 1 year.
Yeah. So and we're going to be going to the Dominican Republic, and then we are going to Bimini, which is in the Bahamas. It's not too far from Castaway, actually. So we are going to those 2 ports, and then we'll have 2 days at sea. So it's a 5-night cruise, and we are looking forward to it.
So when are we doing that? What's the date for that?
We are doing it on May the 13th is when we sail away.
Yeah.
And that's out of Miami.
Yeah, so we're just taking a little trip downtown.
Yeah, so we're just going to drive down to Miami and go out of that port. But we're excited to bring you Virgin Voyages cruise content. You know, keep watching our Disney cruise content to learn more about the Disney cruise. The thing that's different about Virgin Voyages is that it is adult only. So it is a much different product than Disney.
Different vibe for sure.
Yeah, for sure, a different vibe. And we're excited to experience that and bring you that content. Disney Cruise works for us because we love Disney so much, but we know that there's some people that would prefer really a whole ship of adult only, which there's some parts of me that really is excited about
looking forward to
only.
it. Yes.
But that being said, and that's something that I kind of like to set the record straight, is even though it's a Disney cruise, I don't feel like that there's a lot of... You can stay away from the kids because there's the spa activities, there's the specialty dining, there's the adult deck. On Castaway Cay, there's a whole adult beach. So those things that Disney has put into place, if you are adult going on a Disney cruise, you can definitely do adult-only things.
For sure.
People think, oh, well, Disney cruise is just for kids. I don't think so. But Virgin Voyages offers a different experience, and we're excited to experience that.
I'm very excited, yes.
So stay tuned, and we will be sailing away again in just a couple weeks.
So thanks for joining us. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment what you want us to do next and what you want to see.
Yeah, we will see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.